So and I got this nice little glow going. I got this, we got some new lighting systems for the office and then for my office here. So we got this nice ring light that's illuminating me and making me look a little better than I usually do, which is not great. So Hoki looks way better. Look at this. She's like glowing, right? Look at you. You got the glow right now. Hoki's the star. She's where I get all my knowledge from. This little thing right here. This little girl. So if you don't want to like me, right? You don't have to like button for me. It's a lot harder for somebody like somebody talking about marketing. It's a lot easier to hit the like button, love button for a little adorable Yorkie, right? So how can you not hit like? Sorry, you're going crazy. How can you not hit the like button, the love button for Hoki, right? Hoki Finn is the rock star. She's the legend in the family. And we all want to be more like Hoki. Just napping all day, playing all day, working. When she wants to work with me on camera, she comes up here. She gets on the desk. She has all the good ideas, right? And sometimes I use her to to sell stuff, right? So sometimes you got to use the cuteness to sell things. But anyway, thanks, David. I appreciate that, man. It's great to have you on here. So here's something that's interesting. I think what I hear a lot, and this might just be me, right? Everything I'm saying today might just be me, but I've talked to enough people that I think this is a kind of universal feeling, that there's a lot of people who, and I'll speak specifically in like America, right? I won't talk worldwide because obviously there's a lot of people out there who just in third worlds that just live terrible lives in countries where there's no mobility, there's no chance. But I think there's also in America, especially for the younger generation that feels like, there's this whole movement to socialism now, and everyone feels like entitled, and that it's not fair that the rich are rich, and that the rich are getting richer, and all this stuff, right? And regardless of your politics, I think there's a lot of people who think that certain people get lucky, right? That, Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg or whoever, they got a lucky break, and I didn't get a lucky break, right? That they happen to get this one opportunity, this one meeting, or know this one person, and because of that, they got successful. And I never got a lucky break, right? I never get lucky. There's people, I think that's kind of an easy cop-out and an easy argument when you're not successful. Or when you've had a lot of losses or really struggling, it's to say, hey, life's not fair. And these people got lucky and I never get lucky, right? It's easy to say. You go to Vegas, everyone thinks that, right? It's not fair. That person's lucky. I'm not lucky. I feel it a lot of times when I go to Vegas because I lose on the craps tables a lot. What I started thinking, though, is I started looking back on like my last 10 years, right? In kind of marketing entrepreneurship. And I've had that thought a lot of times too, where I've, especially when I started my first company when I was still in college, when Nick and I started the Daily 100, I remember thinking about all these startups that had raised millions of dollars in Silicon Valley, and they had crappy products or bad ideas, and we had such a good idea, and it just wasn't fair. They knew the right person. They got this lucky introduction or whatever. And there's you built a lot of resentment internally about that because you think other people got lucky instead of being skilled. Now, what I realized, I started looking back on it and realizing, I think what separates like great entrepreneurs and business professionals from most people, it's not that they get luckier than everyone else. Luck it's random, right? Like the chances of me winning the lottery or hitting a scratch off or going to Vegas and going on a heater for an hour, it's probability, right? It's totally random. There's no skill behind it. There's nothing I can do to make the dice, roll a hard 8, right? I can't control that. I can't spin the roulette wheel and control if it's black or red. I can't control that. All we can do, though, is recognize when we get opportunities. So what I've noticed is, like, I've talked to a lot of successful entrepreneurs, and a lot of them have you can trace back their career trajectory to like a singular point or a few individual points where there was this massive momentum, this big inflection point. And a lot of them are lucky breaks. And they didn't just happen overnight. Their luck, a lot of people create their own luck because they work really hard for a long time to get that lucky opportunity. But with entrepreneurs, I realized that the great ones not only recognize when they're getting lucky, they're not only able to be aware enough to understand, like, this is the opportunity, like, this is the lucky break, this is the big break. That's part of it. The other part of it is being able to act. Because a lot of times the opportunities that you get presented in that lucky scenario, or that finally the culmination of all that hard work, when you get that opportunity, there's a lot of people who don't seize the opportunity because it is potentially scary, because it potentially takes you out of your comfort zone, because it's something that you're not great at, or you're nervous about, or it's meeting a specific person who you're intimidated by. And so a lot of people will pass. They'll get the opportunity, they'll get that lucky break, but they don't act, and they let that opportunity pass them by. And, at the end of the day, what I'm saying here, I would love to know if everyone agrees with me on this, that like success has a lot to do with recognizing opportunities and seizing opportunities. And then I think we can all agree that most people, especially in America, in some point in your life, you get an opportunity. You get a lucky break. And now again, I'm not trying to be ignorant here and say that everybody has the same situation. Obviously, if you are from a very wealthy family and you go to a very great school and you're in these environments, that you will be exposed probably to greater opportunities than most people. So I'm not saying that everything's equal. What I am saying is that throughout your entire lifetime, to say that you never got any luck or any opportunity, I think is just not true. I think we all stumble into things. We all get one opportunity, one moment. Maybe it's, for some people it's 100 moments, maybe for one person it's one moment. But it's about, what do you do when you're presented with that moment? What do you do when you actually do get lucky, right? What do you do when you actually do hit the lottery? When you do hit the jackpot, figuratively? And so I can give everyone my path and my story for me. And the reason I tagged Ezra and Adam in this is, for me, I can trace back a lot of my success and where I'm at today to a singular moment. And now Ezra and Adam will disagree with this. I was with both of them in San Diego shooting some content and hanging out, and I told both of them this for the first time. I never told them this. And obviously they're both incredible people, and they both downplayed it extensively. But I still wholeheartedly believe this. Now, I'm not saying that Ezra and Adam are 100% responsible for everything I've done to date. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that both of them presented me with an opportunity. I got lucky, and I took action. So here's what happened. If anybody's interested, if this is an interesting story, I'd love for you to hit the like button. Let me know. If not, you can just bail right here. So again, trying to get better about this engagement thing. I need to get some likes, I need to get some shares and comments, because obviously that is what fuels us online, right? We don't care about money anymore. We care about social influence and currency. I'm just kidding. I could care less whether this video has 2 likes or 1 million likes or 0 likes, because I just like sharing this stuff anyway. So probably over 2 years ago, I got invited along with Jeremy to an event in San Francisco. It was like a little 30 under 30 event. It wasn't an official like Forbes under 30. It was just a group, this kind of group put together. They brought together 30 really great entrepreneurs under the age of 30, and they put us into a really cool mansion in San Francisco. It used to house like the Catholic Church's gold. Like, it was a crazy building, really cool. And now it's used as like an incubator center for big brands like Nike and stuff to have retreats. And so we spent like a week at this house, just sharing and talking and going deep into life and stuff. And it was really a great event. But I remember everybody had to share for, I think, 30 minutes. So everyone in the group had to, at some point during the week, like, do a presentation. And they could talk about whatever they wanted, right? There was no set agenda. You had to talk about this or this or this. And it wasn't all marketing people. It was a wide range of entrepreneurs under the age of 30 doing all kinds of cool things. And I remember I at the time, was not comfortable at all speaking in front of public, on the camera, on stage, even in front of 20 people. It was not something I looked forward to doing, enjoyed doing. I got terrified about the thought. As soon as I heard that we had to give a talk, I instantly got sick. I don't know if anybody watching this can relate to that. That's nervous about public speaking. I know a lot. That's one of the biggest phobias is public speaking. But I'm sure everyone here can relate to that feeling at some point, where you know you had to give a presentation, whether it was in school or whether it was at a speaking event, and you instantly get those butterflies and that stress and that sweat and that anxiety of like, oh my God, I'm gonna embarrass myself. What do I talk about? And so I waited to the last day. Obviously, I pushed it as far as I could, and I didn't know what I was going to talk about. But at the time, we happened to be scaling our Trump coin offer, right? So we were making lots and lots of money with our Trump coin. That was the hot thing. So I figured, hey, why don't I talk about our ad strategy for our Trump coin funnel? And so I did that. I spent all night kind of mapping out what I was going to say. I went down early in the morning and had a whole whiteboard wall, and I whiteboarded out the funnels and stuff. And I just spoke. And I remember something interesting happened. I had never up until that point given a presentation about what I'm passionate about. So all the public speaking I had done my entire life was usually in an academic setting, right? Most of us, that's where almost all of our public speaking happens, in school. And it's always, you're doing a speech, you're doing a book report, whatever it might be. And I realized that like none of those times are times where you're passionate about something. You're regurgitating, you're memorizing and trying to read. And it was interesting that as soon as I got up there and just started talking, I didn't have a script or slides. I just started talking. And it's something I loved to do. And I started to have fun with it. All of a sudden, the butterflies vanished. And I was like, this is cool. I'm having fun doing this. And so I gave a presentation. And it was probably my first time really speaking in front of a group. And I realized, I didn't realize it at the time, but after I realized that it was recorded. So all the talks were recorded. And so after that talk, we got the video. And I shared the video on Facebook. I shared it online. And I'll have to find the video somewhere. I'll post it again because it's still got some good stuff in it, right? And just so everyone can see the difference from like when my very first talk to where I'm at now. I'd like to think I improved a little bit. So shared it, right? And even that was nerve-wracking because I was like, I'm sharing something for my first speak, like it's my first talk. Should I be sharing it? Should I not be sharing it? And a few days went by. Nothing happened. Maybe like 50 people watched it, right? Like nobody watched it. But I got a Facebook message from my friend Adam. At the time I didn't know, but now he's a good friend of mine, Adam from Shopify. He's the affiliate manager, partner manager at Shopify. Just incredible person, incredible guy, super smart. And he reached out to me and Adam said, hey, you don't know me. My name is Adam and this is what I do at Shopify, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I saw that you referenced in your video, cool video, by the way, really good stuff, that you referenced Ezra Firestone. And I did at the time, because at the time I had bought all of Ezra's stuff. I was a huge Ezra fan. And so we bought all stuff, and he's, just like all of us here. When you buy courses from Russell or people and you just look up to them, right? You don't know them. They don't know you. They're big figures and they're selling stuff and you buy their stuff. And that's the dynamic I had. So he was up here, I was down here. And he said, well, Ezra's a really good friend of mine. And I'm sure he would love to chat with you. Can I connect with you guys? And I played it cool, right? I tried to play it cool. Maybe I didn't. Adam, if you're watching this, you can chime in about how I played it. I tried to. But deep down, I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. And he connected me to Ezra. And Ezra said, hey, let's hop on a call. And I'll still never forget, like, I think it was like a Saturday or Sunday morning. And like the phone rang, or maybe I called. The memory's fuzzy here. If Ezra's watching this, maybe he remembers. Either way, though, I remember like saying, "Hey, this is Max," and "Hey, this is Ezra." And it's amazing because at the time, we had our agency with Kevin, and we met plenty of famous people and really like people, like well-respected people that were influential. But I think it was just because of how like specific, like how much Ezra resonated with me. And he was kind of like just where I saw myself going. And so it was very personal for me and like super nervous speaking to him. Definitely didn't articulate myself that well, but he said, I really liked your video and, I'm doing my Ecom All-Stars event in Austin. Every year we like to have, one speaker that, nobody really knows anything about yet, not a big figure. And if you're interested, I'd love to have you. And so this goes back to the point of the video, which is recognizing your lucky break and acting on it regardless of your fear. Because at the time, every fiber of my being wanted to say, thank you, that is so nice and so cool, but I gotta say no because it's terrifying, right? Like that is what I wanted to say. That is what like my emotions were saying, because I was thinking 600 people on a stage, me presenting. I went from doing a presentation in front of 25 people, 29 people to 600 people from like a stage talk with big screens and stuff. That's a crazy jump. I had no coaching, no training, no nothing. Like I didn't even know if what I was teaching was good, right? I wasn't. Nobody gave me that level of like feedback that like you're really good at what you do and your stuff works, right? And so most people would have gone with their just emotions, right? They would have said no. They would have passed because it's scary, right? And usually things that scare us we avoid. But for whatever reason, I'd like to say at the time it was because I had all the knowledge I have now and I knew it was my big opportunity. I knew that this is the right thing to do. But I think I just really saw it as like, this is I guess I can say this is a moment. Like I said, it's clearly a big opportunity. Like this is an opportunity that could amplify and just 10x my career, right? It just instantly adds credibility. It leapfrogs me years ahead of where I would be if I just kept working and scraping, right? And so despite the fear, despite the anxiety, despite the fact that I had no experience doing this at all, and didn't even know if I was qualified to do it, I said yes, right? I just blurted it out. Yeah, I'd love to. I said, great, we'll set it up, right? And then I spent the next few months terrified, putting together a presentation and just praying that it was going to be good and rehearsing so many times. And again, when the event came, I remember like the first day, there was like a VIP dinner, reception and stuff. And, like I said, I think probably 500, 700 people were there. I don't know the exact numbers, but it was a big event. And nobody nobody talked to me, right? Obviously like conversations, but I was just, kind of invisible. Ezra, anywhere he goes, everyone was like trying to talk to him, shake his hand, like just a mob scene, right? And so the next day, I got ready. I stood off stage, ready to speak. Ezra called my name, ran up on stage, and again, something amazing happened. I stood there on stage and I looked out, and it was a big venue. It was packed. Big camera set in the back, control center, multiple cameras, 2 big screens, timers, the full, the whole shebang. 600 people. And it was like 10 seconds of just total fear. What did I do? Why did I say yes to this? This was so stupid. And then I just started talking. And again, something amazing happened. As soon as I started talking, all the butterflies and fear just vanished, just disappeared, just gone. And to this day, that's the way it's been. That when I speak about things I'm passionate about, I have no nerves, no fear, and I don't have scripts. I don't prepare, for weeks and months, right? I put together a slide deck, and I just do it, right? First mastermind I did, full day, 8 hours, like of content, just rolled with it, and it worked out. But anyway, with Ezra, I got done speaking, walked up the stage, and it took me about 3 hours to get from the stage to my hotel room, because all of a sudden now everyone's talking to you. I was able to piggyback influence, right? That's what I kind of call it. It's like influence piggybacking, where you're nobody knows who you are. This person is a big somebody, and they let you speak on their stage to their audience, and they say, this is a guy you should listen to, this is a girl you should listen to. It is like magic. It is the craziest thing ever, just to see that literally 30 minutes. I walk on stage, walk off stage, 110% different interaction with everybody. As soon as you leave that stage, you are an expert. You are an authority. You are somebody people want to do deals with and work with, right? And so for me, it was like that speaking gig then led to the next one, then led to the next one, then led to the next one, then led to speaking at Affiliate World Europe in Barcelona in front of 3,000 people, to speaking at Econ Mastery Live in Bangkok to 1,000 people, speaking in San Diego, speaking at Tim Bird's Mastermind, Chris Records Mastermind, Billie Jean, like all these people. But it all tracks back to that one opportunity, right? And again, a lot happened between that one opportunity and where I'm at today. And I busted my ass. I've sacrificed weekends, vacations, time off to get to where I'm at. And there's been a lot of other opportunities. But what I guess the point of this video is to talk about it can all be traced back to a single opportunity that I was given, that I lucked into. And I got that opportunity. And luck might be a bad word because there's a connotation that you had no control over it. But I do believe that it does have a big part of it. I believe that there's a lot of luck involved in what we do, because there's so many factors outside of our control, right? And so for me, it was, hey, I pushed myself out of my comfort zone. I did something that I was scared of doing, that it would have been a lot easier to say no and not do. And when I got presented with that opportunity, I recognized that this was the opportunity. And I said yes, despite wanting to say no. And I seized that opportunity. And I think that's something that every young entrepreneur and new entrepreneur just getting started can learn from, is that you will struggle, right? You will stumble and you will fall and you will fail and you will make mistakes and you will lose money and you will stress and you will have nights where you can't sleep and you will have all these things, and that's necessary as an entrepreneur. But you will also get lucky at some point. You will get opportunities at some point. The difference between you just continuing to struggle and eventually giving up and being a success, among a few other things, is recognizing that opportunity. And when it presents itself, not thinking, acting, right? Saying, this is the opportunity, I need to do it. I don't care what it costs, I don't care what it takes. I'm saying yes and I'm doing it because this is that pivot point. This is where things start to go this way. And so that's something I just wanted to share today. I think it's a very important lesson. It sounds obvious and basic, right? Hey, people get lucky, but I've seen a lot of people get opportunities and pass on those opportunities because it was outside of their wheelhouse. It was outside of their comfort zone. They thought it was beneath them, or they thought they were not qualified enough, or whatever the reason was. They passed on it. And it's unfortunate because those opportunities don't happen all the time, right? Lucky breaks don't happen all the time. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a lucky break, right? It would just be normal. So that's, again, just something I wanted to talk about today. Again, I don't know if what I could be saying, nobody could agree with, right? But for me, it's something I believe in wholeheartedly because I've lived it. And I've seen what happened. I knew what I was doing before that opportunity, and I know what happened after that opportunity. So I can look at pre and post that event, and it was this. Maybe it was actually, I would say more like this opportunity, this, right? That was the inflection point in my career. And so again, when, Ezra and Adam, I'm sure you'll watch this video at some point. Hopefully you'll watch this video at some point. If not, I already tagged you both. I'm going to message you both. I'm so grateful for everything you've done for me. And it's whether you agree or disagree with me that you gave me a big opportunity. I believe that's the case. And I know if I didn't get that opportunity, hey, maybe I would have gotten another opportunity a year later, 2 years later. But that opportunity, I know by taking and by acting, is a direct moment that connects to all the other things. That without that, the next thing wouldn't have happened, and the next thing wouldn't have happened. So it was also what I'll also say is it came at a very challenging moment. That's the other thing about lucky situations and opportunities. That sometimes, and a lot of times, they happen at your lowest points. They happen at your most challenging points. Your points where your points in your life where you have the most chaos. And so for us, the whole other part I forgot to add to this was this happened right at the end of our relationship with Kevin and Brian with Quantum. When Quantum ended, we were in a transition period. Like Jeremy and I didn't know what we were going to do, right? We had a kind of an idea of what we were going to do, but we didn't exactly know. And so again, we just had this big agency. We had the Trump coin, which is now not running anymore. We had all these things. We were killing it, and then it kind of went down. So we're at this low point. And again, it would have been easy to say, no, why would I speak? I had no idea I wanted to do, at the time, I didn't have any idea I wanted to do a course or any type of info product stuff. So I didn't even know how that would help my career. But again, I felt it. I knew that this was the right thing to do. And doing it just created that momentum. It inspired me to start creating my info products and my courses and doing trainings, which has led me to be able to help over 4,000 people with my courses and speak to tens of thousands of people at events. It's led me to a place where I feel like I have a big purpose and I actually have impact in what I do. Because on the consulting side and the agency side, sure, it's fun, but I didn't feel fulfilled doing that. the info products, the courses, the trainings, doing content like this, that's where I feel like I'm doing the most. That's where I feel like I'm doing the most good and where I have the most impact and where I feel most fulfilled professionally. And so again, not only did I get the opportunity and it helped me success-wise and career-wise, but it also helped me really find my purpose and what I was passionate about doing. If I didn't speak on a stage to 600 people and realize that I was having fun doing this, I might not have known that I had a passion for teaching and speaking and coaching, right? So again, it's sometimes it takes doing things that you were terrified of but you never did before to realize that you actually love those things, and they're things you want to do now professionally or just for fun. So yeah, that's hope that just, even if it helps one person, even if there's one person out there that's in a situation right now where they're thinking about doing something and passing something up because they're scared about it and they act, that makes my year. Like that's why I do what I do and why I love what I do. It's because all I got to do is help one person, right? If this video helps one person, then I'm happy. If it helps 1,000 people, that's better. But all it needs to do is help one person, like Ezra and Adam helped me. If I can pass it on, that's the most exciting thing. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know, like I said in the last few videos, if there's topics, questions, things you want me to cover in future videos, just drop them in the comments below. Thanks.